Hello, friends and colleagues. Bill Brown here. I'm excited to share with you today about the IGNITE conference, which is coming up for youth in Ocean City in March of 2026. Now, in my role as Director of Congregational Vitality, I could talk to you about the importance of the engagement of youth and young adults in the life of a church in order to maintain and increase vitality. I could also talk to you about the decline in engagement of our youth because they're not being seen, heard, they don't feel like they belong. But first, I want to talk to you about a time in my life when I felt like I didn't belong. During 7th grade, I had an encounter with a bully that expanded into a circle of bullies in my school, and I felt alone, I felt isolated, I felt like I no longer belonged. My mother seemed to be at wit's end. She didn't know what to do with her youngest son. She knew that she couldn't make it any better, so she did the one thing she thought she could do, and that was send me to church camp. In fact, she sent me to the one camp she attended at my age, where she felt like she belonged. When I got there, I didn't know anybody, but I befriended another camper and we hung out for the week. And during the final worship service, the pastor leading the service had an altar call, and he invited people to come forward if they wanted to commit or recommit their life to Christ. And the friend I met that week elbowed me during the service and said, "You need to go forward." And I responded, "No, I don't." A few moments later, he elbowed me again. He said, no, you need to go forward. And so I did, and I knelt at the rail. I invited Christ to be Lord of my life. And when I looked up from that prayer and I saw the pastor sitting next to the communion table, I heard a voice that said, "You need to do what they're doing." And that was my call to the ordained ministry. In that moment, with that elbow, with my mom sending me to that camp, the trajectory of my life changed forever. And think about that moment for you. When was your life transformed because somebody helped you belong? That's what we want to do with our youth and young adults. That's the purpose of IGNITE, to help them know that they belong to God, they belong to our church, and they belong to one another. The theme of this year's IGNITE conference is belong. And so I want to invite you to think about who in your congregation you could encourage to attend. Pray for them, but do more than pray. Turn your prayers into action and sponsor them to attend. Have your church sponsor them to attend. And this is a great month to introduce that. During Clergy Appreciation Month, when churches are looking for ways to say thank you to us, what better way to say thank you than to have them sponsor a youth whose life could be changed forever? You can find out more about the conference at igniteforyouth.com. But in the meantime, I really hope to see you there. It is going to be a great weekend of music and workshops and great keynote speakers. I'm going to be there, and we're going to have a wonderful time of praising God, praying with our young people, and seeing their lives, and I'll bet you our lives, changed forever. Please join me.